What is the RFP? RFP is a standard way of referring to a request for proposal. The request for proposal, or RFP, is based on the scope of work that the business owner will be asked to deliver. It's the most common request to provide services or products. In order to better prepare yourself to present your company to a vendor in the best light possible, here are a few things that you might consider doing prior to submitting your RFP. For example, if you're going to think about aligning yourself with another firm to go after business, you should get all the terms and conditions of this out of the way before responding to bids. Each firm should know what items it's responsible for on the project. Now let's get back to the RFP. What are the main parts of the RFP? There are three main parts: the general company overview, the project overview, and the scope of work. The company overview describes your company, its goals and objectives, and a reason for this RFP. In it, the company is requesting a written proposal that addresses the points detailed in the RFP to be submitted. It also gives the response required date. Notice the no later than month, date, and year. The project overview describes the product line of the issuing company. Sometimes this section will also include a situational overview that outlines the market dynamics, challenges, and opportunities the issuing company sees for itself. The scope of work details what is expected from the responding business owner. What we have here is a sample RFP. You see the parts of the RFP that we mentioned: the general company overview, or company background, the project description, or overview, and the scope of work, or design requirements. The wording is slightly different as each vendor uses its own terminology to describe the need for the request, how it describes the project, etc. Just be aware of this. What is an electronic RFP? The electronic RFP is done completely online. In all other respects, it is the same as the traditional RFP. Just remember, the only difference between the traditional and the electronic versions of the RFP is that the latter is submitted online. This also means that the response time from the company is also the same. Even though there's no difference between the traditional and the electronic RFP, there are some things to consider. First, space is limited, so answers must be concise and to the point. Then, carefully review the requirements for the electronic RFP. Finally, know the electronic media format needed to respond to the RFP. That might include the format needed to attach documents needed to substantiate your position. Or, if a presentation is being done, make sure that the equipment is compatible. It's extremely helpful to write out and review your response prior to entering the information online. Just remember, the only difference between the traditional and the electronic versions of the RFP is that the latter is submitted online. This also means that the response time from the company is also the same. Now we come to our final term, the reverse auction. What is it? Reverse auction is a tool used for spend management as part of strategic sourcing and overall supply management activities. It might be understood as selling in reverse. The buyer and seller reverse positions. It's the buyer's actions that drive this event. A reverse auction operates similar to an online auction. The reverse auction sets the stage where one firm is priced against another. Normally, the lowest bidder is awarded the contract, but not always. The company has to decide if the lowest bid can in fact deliver as promised.